It's 9 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday, December 13th, 2023. What a beautiful morning it is. Cloudy. It's about 40 degrees right now. It was 30 something when I woke up. And it looks like it's going to rain Friday. Looks like we're going to get half an inch of rain on Friday, so that's exciting. I always like to get rain. So, let's see. Rain Friday. It's going to be 60 degrees, 58 degrees today. Something nice and warm. It's going to get up there. So, the cows, when I came to them this morning, they were quiet. They looked like they had done a pretty good job on the hay here. They kind of ate under the fence a little bit, under the wire. So that means they were a little bit short. But when I opened it up this morning, they didn't run over, they didn't move or anything. They just kind of nonchalantly trotted over some of the early ones. This is the left side of Blue. Blue's kind of friendly. She'll let me touch her. Yeah. This is the triangle. You can see it's slightly hollow, just a little tiny bit hollow. It means nothing when it's like that. Red's a little more shy. She doesn't like to get on the camera. But her triangle is, I would say, about where it needs to be. Same with Dusty here. And the calf, 19. Brownie. Calf is actually kind of skinny. I imagine it's because she's growing so fast. It's hard to put on weight when you're growing. Right? You're going to give me a calf in 2025, right? This guy's all woolly. He looks like a mammoth. He's got nice horns too. Young 20. Young 20 is Brownie's calf. Boop. I think this is the last one I had. I don't think there's any after 20. So she is the youngest calf on my property. But I believe I checked, she will be ready in 2025 to give us a calf. So she'll breed next year in May. This guy has nice coloring. I like that. Am I sure this is a female? Let me double check here. Because there's a male that looks just like her. I'm going to double check here. Show me your tail. Yeah, she's a female. So here's another calf. This one I think actually is one of my oldest calves. Probably my second oldest calf. Because I didn't tag her. I didn't even know she was born. My neighbor told me, hey, you got some calves. I'm like, oh, I did not know. I thought it was weird how the cows kind of stood off on their own. I didn't think to look into it. This is the first calf I tagged, number 1. So she's a little younger than the one you just saw. This guy, this lady, even though she's not the oldest calf, she's a big one. Her daddy was a Charolais bull. So she gets big. I don't think I got a tag in her. Or it came out or something. Maybe I just decided to stop tagging. I don't know. 14. I like your color. Let me touch her, huh? Number 11. This is 413. I bought her as a calf. She was probably 1 or 2 months old when I bought her. I believe she's Yellow's calf, not Red's. I got rid of Red's calf. It was a bull. Is this metal tag? Yeah, this is metal tag. And then number 6. The calves are just as big as the cows now. This is number 20. I know it's 20 because she has 2 tags and both of them are broken. This is old 20. 20 is super friendly. She'll let you touch her if she gets to know you a little bit. Number 10 is half Brahman, hence the droopy ears. It's funny because when I first got my cows, a gentleman said, watch the ears. If they start to droop, if they're not perky, that means they're not doing well. And so I called him back a couple days later and showed him a picture of this cow. And he laughed and he said, no, that's a Brahman. They always have droopy ears. So a couple signs, the features of the Brahman. Number 1 is a big shoulder, that big hump there. Hers is not as big. And also the brisket. He's usually full of fat. Just fatty, saggy briskets. Number 10 is doing well. By the way, some people swear by the Brangus. They say it's better than the Texas Wagyu. Here's number 24, the one that everybody likes to talk about. my experiment. 24 gave me a good calf. I forget which one it was, but it was a good one. That's number 21, the fatty. She's not just fat, but she has big bones. She's nice and wide. So number 21 gave me a calf last year right after the fire. The calf died a few days later. So I'm supposed to roll this out all the way. Number 19, and that's number 4, I believe. Oof. Oof. Out of the way. Get out of the way. I don't want a big bundle of hay in the middle of my field. Let me just kick this and unroll it all the way. Just so it spreads out a little better. Yeah, there's something to look forward to this afternoon. It's amazing how densely packed these bales of hay can be. All right, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's it. So, it's amazing. To me, at least. There's that calf skin. You know, next time I get a calf that dies, I'm going to butcher it, not for the meat, but for the skin. Maybe make some gloves out of it. Yeah, so that's all my cows. So I started setting up the wire this morning for the bulls. The plan was to get the bulls moved over soon, so they're on a rotation like the cows, but they're the maximum distance away from the cows as possible to minimize the chances that the bulls break through. So I would like to have another farm I can put the bulls on and rotate. The problem with the back 20, back 20's over there, is that there's too many trees. It's really hard to put out wire. I did it a couple times. It takes like an hour or so to get one cross wire installed. And that's not an hour of, like, you know, standing around and waiting. That's an hour of crawling through brush and berries and prickle bushes and low-hanging branches. You know, it's not fun. I was thinking of going back there with a bulldozer or something and clearing out the fence line. Just taking all the trees off the fence line. The problem is when they built the barbed wire fence, they attached it to some trees. They use the trees as posts, and so you basically have to redo the fence. And whew, yeah, it's one of those cases where, you know, if I go back there and invest all that time and money on it, and then you know, my neighbors, they pass away or they sell the property or something, or they decide they don't want me to use the back 20 anymore, then all that time and effort will be wasted. If I had like a longer term lease, then I'd probably be more invested. The other problem is I don't know for sure that I'm going to stay on this property. Whenever I make plans for the future, I do plan on buying more property, and I don't know if there's the problem with this particular area is people are building houses like mad, and so any moment now, one of my neighbors is gonna build a subdivision, and then I'm basically out. The problem is that people that move to the rural areas, they try to bring their suburban rules and expectations, right? They don't like dogs running around. They probably don't like the smell of manure and things like that. So if my neighbor were to sell out and build houses, then I'd have to move. I wouldn't stay here for very long. But 60 acres is nice, and I think it's a good size. I should be able to make plenty of money on 60 acres, especially if I focus on marketing these cows. That said, if a bunch of money fell in my lap, I would like to have 300 acres or 1,000 acres or something bigger. I just think it'd be a little easier with more land, because you'd have geographic distance that you can use to your advantage. 60 acres does feel a little tight sometimes, you know, especially when I'm trying to get the bulls out from the cows. And when I'm trying to wean the calves, that's another time that, you know, that's not a fun experience. So last time I weaned the calves was last year, I think, last year in the spring. And what I did is I put the calves in the pen and locked the pen, and the cows, they broke the gate. they pushed on the gate and broke it, you know. So you need geographic distance between the calves and the cows. So the mamas can't hear the calves and the calves can't hear the mamas, right? And 60 acres isn't quite enough. Maybe it is. But anyway, that's my sense. So for that reason, because I'm not fully sold and invested in this land, it's hard for me to justify going back there and, you know, changing everything to make it more amenable to rotational grazing. But if I had the druthers and the time and the interest, then I would definitely go back there. What I would probably do is, first of all, redo the fences. Second of all, I would cut east-west paths, lanes, you know, so I can put the wires down easily. And I would probably cut it into quarters. I think quarters is probably best, you know. Every time I go back there and calculate what I would do for rotations, it comes back either do it in halves or thirds or quarters. So I think quarters is probably a good compromise. And then from there, like running the wires between the lanes, like the cross wires like we have here, that's not a big deal. It's a shorter distance. And yeah, you do have to trudge through the trees and stuff like that, but it's not that big of a deal. And you don't have to be that accurate with it anyway, you know. So that's kind of what I would do, is I'd go back there. I'd probably divide the property up, because it's a trapezoid shape. I'd probably divide it up into 4 equal areas using horizontal lines. That involves solving quadratic equations, for those of you that know. But I would do that and then cut in, like clear probably a 10-foot path where I could put the wires in easily. I can just walk and I can see the other side. You know, that's probably what I'd do. Leave the trees otherwise. The cows do a good enough job keeping the trees thin. They trample and they munch on stuff. So anyway, yeah, this video is getting long. But anyway, that's kind of the story there for the back 20. So right now I'm just using it as one cell. I'm really cheating. I'm not really doing rotational grazing back there. But I give it lots of rest in between, 30, 60, 90 days. So we'll see what happens. All right, guys, have a great day. Take care and bye-bye.